He received close to 5% of the vote. Many people are wondering, why wasn't he removed from the ballot?
The answer is, we have in the United States a presumption of innocence. And just because he was charged with a crime, until he is convicted, he is presumed to be innocent and has a right to be on the ballot.
Attorney Lawrence Mandelker says legally, an ex-con has as much right as anyone to run for office.
So would the following people be eligible to run for elected office? A convicted murderer?
Yes.
A rapist?
Convicted?
A convicted serial rapist?
Yes.
A convicted pedophile?
Yes.
Is there any offense that disqualifies somebody from running for elected office?
No.
That's really good news for Jon Girodes. Not only is he sitting in jail accused of a Craigslist rental scheme, but we found he also has a history of being on the wrong side of the law. In 2001, Girodes was put on probation for petty theft. Then, 2008, even more trouble. Girodes was accused in a check cashing scheme. He pled guilty to grand larceny and served jail time. But now he sits in a Manhattan jail awaiting trial.
Hi, John.
He's accused of renting the same apartment to more than a dozen different people at the same time. Prosecutors claim he never turned over a working key and kept most of the money.
This is your chair right here.
Girodes welcomed Crime Watch Daily behind bars for an exclusive interview to campaign for his freedom. And this is where he proved to be the consummate politician.
You have more than a dozen accusers, people who say that in total you took more than $50,000 from them. Did you do that?
No, no, I did not, and I can't continue to answer these questions.
Okay.
And these accusers, by the way, it breaks my heart that they're whoever they are, that they're going through this, right? And I wish I could respond the way I want to, but I cannot.
Did you list your apartment for rent?
I can't discuss anything else, Amy. With all due respect, of course.
And do you want to explain why you can't comment on this time, on
because
the particulars?
Just like everyone else, it wouldn't behoove me to do so. I'm fighting for my freedom. I'm fighting for my life. As much as, and I will share the entire story at some point. Now is just not the right time, Amy.
Nina Wolf was one of the few who says she got her money back after hounding Girodes.
I chased him all over the place, all over town. In fact, 1 block from here, I got it back.
But other angry renters claim they're tired of waiting for Girodes to pay them back. They say he used his political platform to steal their trust, and more importantly, their money.
How did you feel when you discovered that this apartment was not actually for rent?
Devastated.
Devastated.
Oh my God.
Heartbroken.
That was terrible.
Right after the rage kicks in and you think, no, you don't get to get away with this.
The last time the public saw you, you were smiling, and you had just been arrested. Why were you smiling?
Well, that's a good question. I think I was nervous, and the absurdity of me being arrested at all, I couldn't believe. I thought I was being spoofed, to be honest with you.
No matter the outcome of this case, Jon Girodes says his political future is bright.
Sooner or later, I'll be a free man and I'll run again. And I can guarantee you...
You'll run again?
I'm going to run for the rest of my life in New York.
And Girodes says it won't be from the cops. It will be for office. He promises to fight on a platform of parking tickets, potholes, and you're not going to believe this one.
Landlord-tenant issues, right? There are a lot of crooked landlords who tried to take advantage of people from other countries, immigrants especially, who don't know what their rights are.
But some people might hear you say that, and they're going to say, he's being accused of running a Craigslist rental scam, and he's talking about trying to help people with landlord rights.
All I can tell you in response to that, if this was a movie, the people would be siding with me right now and cheering me on. There are two sides to every story. That's what makes this country great. And I believe in the justice system, and I'm just going through the emotions now.
Are you innocent?
I cannot comment whether I'm innocent or guilty. You're asking me today on camera, right? I'd say yes, of course. I haven't had my opportunity to explain anything. I've been railroaded, just like my fellow inmates, down the line.
You've been called a liar, a con man, calculating, a psychopath, a sociopath.
Wow. Amy,
all these things.
It's very hard to have someone tell you, and it hurts, to be honest with you.
Are you any of those things?
No.
And what will you say to people who say, this guy is crazy if he thinks he's going to run for office again and win.
It's America, you can do anything.
He's quite a character, that's for sure. And Amy joins me now. You spent almost an hour with Girodes behind bars. You're
That's
a
right.
lawyer. What do you think really happened here?
You know, what's so interesting about this case, Chris, is that Jon Girodes is charged with grand larceny, essentially stealing. But to find him guilty, prosecutors must prove that he never intended to rent that apartment, that he was out to deceive people from the beginning. Now, the number of accusers might support that because there are so many of them. But the fact that he stayed in constant contact with people, the fact that some people say they got all of their money back, makes this a more complicated case.
If you're his defense counsel, can you get him off of this crime?
I would be running to the prosecutor and trying to strike a plea deal if I were his defense
That
counsel.
much evidence here.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of circumstantial evidence, the number of witnesses willing to testify, the recorded emails, voicemails, text messages, it's very damaging.
Does he really think he can run for office again and win?
He does, and under the law, he is entitled to. But I spoke with Senator Perkins, and he said he wants to hear from our viewers. He wants to know whether there should be offenses that disqualify someone from running for office, even after they've served their time. So we'll stay in touch with him and see if there are any evolutions in the New York laws as a result of this case.
Some of the people got their money back, many more did not. Do they have a shot at reclaiming their cash?
It's going to be very difficult because a lot of people gave cash. The number one rule with any large transaction, always give a check so you have a record of it. This criminal case does not guarantee them their money back. They'll have to file a civil suit. And even then, if they win, they're not guaranteed. They may have to seize assets, and sometimes the money just isn't there.
Amy Dash, thank you very much. We'll obviously continue to follow this case on the show and on our website, crimewatchdaily.com.